What if the biggest challenges you face aren't visible to the naked eye? Imagine a realm where unseen forces are at play, a dimension where spiritual battles unfold, often unbeknownst to us. This is the world of spiritual attacks, a concept that transcends cultures and belief systems, and yet remains shrouded in mystery. Now, while spiritual attacks can affect anyone, there are those who experience them in a unique way. These are the chosen ones, individuals seemingly handpicked to face these invisible battles. The reasons behind this selection are as diverse as the individuals themselves. Some believe it's a test, others see it as a path to spiritual growth. Regardless, understanding these unseen challenges is the first step towards overcoming them. So, how do we navigate this unseen realm? How do we recognize when we are under a spiritual attack? And most importantly, how do we defend ourselves? Let's dive into this unseen realm and understand the spiritual attacks that might be affecting you. Spiritual attacks, a universal concept across beliefs, are more than just folklore. They are unseen challenges that individuals, particularly those with deep spiritual connections, may encounter. Regardless of your belief system, whether it's Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, or any other, the concept of spiritual attack is recognized and understood. A spiritual attack, in essence, is a series of adverse events or circumstances, often inexplicable, that aim to hinder your spiritual growth or diminish your spiritual strength. These attacks can manifest in various forms, from physical ailments to emotional distress, from resource scarcity to a sudden decrease in spiritual interest. They are not merely coincidences, but calculated disruptions designed to throw you off your spiritual path. What makes these spiritual attacks particularly potent is their invisible nature. They operate in the realm of the unseen, making them hard to identify and counter. But their impact on our daily lives is very real. They can create obstacles in our professional and personal lives, create disharmony in relationships, and even affect our physical health. The key to successfully overcoming these spiritual attacks lies in understanding their nature and identifying their signs. By recognizing these disruptions for what they are, spiritual attacks, we can take proactive measures to counter them and protect our spiritual well-being. Now that we have a basic understanding of what spiritual attacks are, let's delve into how to identify them. Recognizing spiritual attacks can be tricky, yet there are some telltale signs to look out for. The first hint of a spiritual attack may be a decreased interest in spiritual practices. You might find prayer, meditation, or other spiritual activities losing their appeal. This could be a sign that an unseen force is attempting to disconnect you from your spiritual path, leaving you more vulnerable. Next, consider your energy levels. Persistent physical fatigue that goes beyond normal tiredness can be a clear indicator of a spiritual attack. If you're constantly feeling drained, despite getting adequate rest, it might be that your energy is being siphoned off by a spiritual assault. This isn't just the usual tiredness that follows a long day or a poor night's sleep. It's a deep and unshakable fatigue that seems to permeate every aspect of your life, making even simple tasks feel like insurmountable challenges. Emotional disturbances can also be a sign of a spiritual attack. You may experience sudden negative feelings or a sense of dread that you can't quite shake off. These feelings might not have any obvious trigger, but they persist and weigh heavily on your mind. Emotional disturbances like these can be a clear sign that something is trying to disrupt your spiritual balance. Finally, resource shortages affecting your spiritual growth can be a symptom of a spiritual attack. This could manifest in a variety of ways. Perhaps you've been trying to attend a spiritual retreat, but every time you make plans, something goes wrong. Or maybe you're finding it increasingly difficult to access the spiritual materials or guidance that you need. These blockades can be frustrating, and they might be an indication that an unseen force is trying to hinder your spiritual development. Recognizing these signs is the first step to counteracting a spiritual attack. The sooner you can identify these signs, the sooner you can take action to protect yourself and regain your spiritual strength. Remember, these signs are not definitive proof of a spiritual attack, but they can provide valuable clues if you're feeling off balance and can't quite figure out why. But that's not all. Physical symptoms can be a key indicator of these spiritual attacks. Your body might be trying to warn you about these unseen attacks. Imagine for a moment you've been feeling physically drained, continuously despite getting adequate rest. Or perhaps you've been experiencing an unexplainable onset of frequent headaches. These, my friends, might be your body's way of signaling to you that you're under a spiritual attack. Physical symptoms of spiritual attacks can be quite varied, but they often share a common trait. They are persistent and inexplicable by conventional medical diagnoses. You might experience chronic fatigue that is not alleviated by rest or sleep. This isn't just your everyday tiredness, it's a deep, pervasive exhaustion that seems to seep into your very bones. Another common symptom could be sudden, intense headaches or migraines, often accompanied by dizzy spells. These aren't your normal headaches that can be eased with a painkiller. They're persistent and often resistant to conventional treatments. Some people might notice a sudden onset of skin issues, such as rashes or acne breakouts. These skin problems often appear without any changes in diet, skincare routine, or environment. You might also experience an inexplicable loss of appetite, or conversely, find yourself overeating. These eating disturbances can often lead to significant weight changes, adding another layer of stress to your life. The key is to listen to your body. It might be trying to tell you something. It's crucial to remember that these symptoms are not punishments, but rather, they're signals. Signals that your spiritual well-being might be under attack. While these physical signs can be alarming, the emotional and mental impacts can be even more profound. Our minds and emotions are not spared from these spiritual onslaughts. As we delve deeper into the unseen realm, it's crucial to understand how spiritual attacks can disrupt our emotional equilibrium and mental well-being. Picture this. The spiritual realm is like a vast ocean, and our emotions and thoughts are the ships sailing on it. When a spiritual storm strikes, these ships are tossed around, leading to emotional turbulence and mental distress. Emotionally, one might experience a sudden onslaught of negative feelings. This could manifest as unexplained sadness, anxiety, or even anger. You could find yourself feeling unusually pessimistic or trapped in a cycle of negative self-talk. Remember, these feelings are not indicative of your true nature, but rather are potential signs of a spiritual attack. On a mental level, spiritual attacks can make one feel overwhelmed or unusually confused. You might struggle with decision-making or experience frequent memory lapses. More subtle signs could include a decrease in focus or an inability to engage in activities that once brought you joy or peace. It's important to remember that these symptoms are not indicative of personal failure or inherent weakness. Much like a physical illness, they're signs that something is amiss in the spiritual realm, and it's crucial to address them with the same seriousness. Knowing we're under attack is one thing, but how do we counteract these attacks? The answer lies in building resilience, enhancing our spiritual defenses, and fostering a supportive environment. But more on that in the next scene. Building a spiritual fortress around yourself is the key to repelling these attacks. This fortress is not made of stone or wood, but of faith, resilience, and the power of divine connection. It's a fortress that you carry within you, shielding you from the invisible arrows of spiritual attacks. So how do you construct this fortress? The first brick, the cornerstone, is your divine connection. This connection is your lifeline, your guiding star in the darkness. It's the relationship you have with the divine, whatever form that may take. It's about nurturing this connection, spending time in prayer or meditation, seeking guidance and listening to the whispers of the divine. It's about immersing yourself in the sacred texts that resonate with your soul and applying their wisdom to your life. The next building block is your community. No one can withstand spiritual attacks in isolation. We are social beings, and we thrive on support, understanding, and shared experiences. Engage with like-minded individuals who can offer their wisdom and strength. These might be people in your local community, or they could be online groups or forums. The key is to find people who understand your experiences and can offer guidance and support. The final brick in your spiritual fortress is personal vigilance. This is about maintaining your spiritual practices and rituals, even when under attack. It's about recognizing the signs of an attack and taking action to counteract it. It might mean adjusting your spiritual practices or seeking advice from your community. It could involve more time in nature, or it could mean seeking professional help if the attacks are taking a toll on your mental health. Remember, spiritual attacks are not a sign of weakness or a punishment. They are a challenge, a test of your faith and resilience. They are an opportunity for growth and transformation. Strengthening our spiritual defenses is a journey, not a destination. Each day, each moment, is an opportunity to fortify your fortress, to deepen your divine connection, to engage with your community, and to maintain your vigilance. It's an ongoing process, a lifelong journey, but it's a journey that leads to strength, resilience, and spiritual growth. A robust spiritual foundation is your best shield against these attacks. In this unseen battle, the power of your spiritual core cannot be overstated. It is the fortress within which you find refuge, the beacon that guides you through the murkiness of spiritual attacks. How then do we go about fortifying this spiritual foundation? It begins with a steadfast commitment to your spiritual practices. These might include prayer, meditation, contemplation, or any other activities that connect you with the divine. The key is to engage in these practices regularly, with sincerity and devotion. Imagine your spiritual defenses as a castle. Each time you engage in these spiritual practices, you are laying down another brick, fortifying the walls, reinforcing the towers. Over time, this castle becomes stronger, more impregnable. It becomes a formidable bastion against the assaults of unseen forces. But strengthening your spiritual defenses is not just about individual practices. It's also about the community you surround yourself with. A supportive, spiritually minded community can act as a powerful bulwark against spiritual attacks. They can offer guidance, support, and shared strength in times of need. They can help you stay grounded, remind you of your divine connection, and reinforce your spiritual defenses. Remember, your spiritual defenses are also fortified by the knowledge and understanding you gather along your journey. This includes understanding the nature of spiritual attacks, recognizing the signs, and knowing how to counteract them. Knowledge, as they say, is power. In this case, it's a power that strengthens your spiritual defenses and equips you with the tools to stand strong in the face of spiritual adversity. Lastly, it's essential to remember that spiritual defense is not a one-time effort. It's an ongoing process of growth, learning, and reinforcement. It requires perseverance, resilience, and a never-ending quest for spiritual progress. Nature and our environment can also play a crucial role in this spiritual warfare. As we move forward, we'll explore how connecting with nature and fostering a supportive environment can act as powerful countermeasures against spiritual attacks. Let's delve further into the role of the environment in strengthening your spiritual defenses. The energy of the natural world can be a powerful ally in your spiritual battles. This truth is often overlooked, but the resonance between the human spirit and the environment is profound. Nature, in all its grandeur and simplicity, can provide a sanctuary from the psychic tumult that spiritual attacks often cause. A walk in the woods, the rustling of leaves in the wind, the rhythmic ebb and flow of the ocean waves. These are not just poetic images, they are potent spiritual tools. They connect us to the earth, grounding us, helping us to draw strength from its limitless reserves. This connection can act as a shield, counteracting the destabilizing effects of spiritual attacks. Creating a supportive environment also plays a crucial role. The spaces we inhabit, from our homes to our workplaces, carry an energy of their own. By fostering positivity, tranquility, and harmony in these spaces, we create a sanctuary that nourishes our spiritual well-being. This can be as simple as keeping our surroundings clean and clutter-free, filling them with things that bring us joy, and fostering relationships that uplift us. In essence, the environment, both natural and personal, can serve as a powerful countermeasure against spiritual attacks. It can cleanse and shield our spiritual aura, providing us with the resilience needed to withstand these invisible assaults. Harnessing the power of nature and our surroundings can fortify our spiritual defenses. So step outside, breathe deeply, and let the healing energy of the world wash over you. Recognizing and defending against spiritual attacks is a journey of self-awareness and resilience. It's about understanding that these invisible challenges are universal across beliefs, and their impact can be felt in our daily lives. It's about identifying the signs, whether it's a decreased interest in spiritual practices, persistent physical fatigue, emotional disturbances, or resource shortages affecting spiritual growth. These attacks don't just affect us physically, they also have a profound impact on our emotional well-being and mental health. But remember, we're not powerless in the face of these attacks. We can counteract them by enhancing our divine connection, engaging with supportive communities, and maintaining personal vigilance through consistent spiritual practices. Strengthening our spiritual defenses is crucial. A robust spiritual foundation not only repels these attacks, but also equips us with the resilience to bounce back when we do face them. And let's not underestimate the role of nature and the environment. Connecting with nature, fostering a supportive environment, harnessing the energy of natural settings. These can all act as powerful countermeasures, cleansing and shielding our spiritual aura from attacks. So, as we conclude, let's remember this journey is about cultivating awareness, resilience, and a strong spiritual practice. It's not always easy, but it's definitely worth it. Remember, adversity is a stepping stone to spiritual strength. Stay aware, stay strong, and keep your faith alive.